Alright, just got this A7 in. Got it pretty cheap. It was like $100, but as you can see why, it's completely mangled. This one I'm just basically taking apart to see what parts might be salvageable, basically. That's about it. I'm hoping that I can use the main board out of it. It doesn't appear to turn on. Put a battery in it. Maybe I shouldn't have, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't functional as is. But the EVF or the LCD didn't turn on. I didn't put a lens on it to see if it like moved, like you could feel the movement of it. Oh, I was hoping the front case was going to be, the front part was going to be okay, but I see a crack there. So yeah, there's going to be a limited amount of parts out of this thing. So battery compartment, maybe the sensor, maybe components of the shutter, but yeah, this guy's pretty mangled. So we're just going to take it apart. You might notice that the camera is a little lower. I added another extension onto my GoPro arm. It's a little bit farther down, maybe closer, maybe it'll be easier to see certain things, but obviously the field of vision is not as great. So anyway, let's start off with this guy. After reviewing the footage of this one, I may or may not revert back to the previous height, because you don't have as far as like I said, field of view, and I don't know about the distances, if I'm going to be able to, I don't know, we'll see. Kind of an experiment. I'm actually going to probably be sending this lanyard off with a camera I sold last night. That camera I have, I need to see if it has the little triangle things on it. It does. So I'll have to take those off. I don't generally like taking those off. I actually don't even really generally like messing with these straps. I don't like them myself. You can see how it's convenient to walk around with it, or around your neck and whatnot, but it's just personal preference. I hate messing around with these things. I sold an A7 II that it's going to go to, so. This guy's pretty well mangled. Might be a part 2, testing out the main board in one of my devices, the A7s that have bad main boards or waiting for a main board. I'm hoping that it's functional and just stuff is so mangled that it doesn't work. Let's see where to start. I'll just start like I normally do, I guess. This is a good eyepiece anyway. All these screws are just going to go into my screw cases. Also just get that ready. I'm hoping that the EVF works. It's just the glass that's broken, but we'll see. With that kind of a hit, it might have broken the display part on the back side. Looks like a plastic weld broke somewhere on that, but it's still functional. Still will work. Most of these shell pieces aren't going to be able to be used. I mean, you can see this took a, I don't know what the hell happened to this thing. Like it dropped off the back of a truck or something. It's pretty crazy. That's why I only wanted to pay like $100 for it. Unfortunately, the seller took it. These kind of things, you might not have anything that works. But for $100 I risked it just to see if the main board was functional, really. I can use like the battery compartment most likely. It looks like the front grip part, I don't know, maybe I can fix that. Maybe I can glue that and get that this front grip working again. At least good enough to reuse it where I might need it. We'll see. This is really damaged. It will be nice to have some extra screws for the LCD case. I don't really have many of those. Oh, look at that. I'll make getting this off pretty easy though. Excuse me. Yeah, I wish I knew how to get this piece off without breaking it. I'm still going to save it just in case I can figure out how to do that, but there's been instances where I've had this being broke off or whatever. I'd like to be able to find a way to reutilize the memory card door. So I'm going to keep it still. This is obviously trash. There's an assumption that this works. This is still good. I mean, this is pretty simple. They use the same dial mode wheels, although it is chipped and damaged there, but probably still functional. You can't even probably see that underneath the front back cover anyway. But anyway, they use the same wheel on the A7 and the A7 II line, so that's will be usable. It could be that this top cover ribbon will be functional, so I'll keep that all intact with the shelf. Maybe this whole top piece will be good. Number 2. Number two. Oh, I forgot to take that one out. Play around with that in a second. It's always good to have extra thermal pads. Ooh, apparently I shouldn't put this in vinegar solution. Even though it's stainless, it's not a super high quality stainless. It got a little bit of corrosion on there. Gonna have to re-coat those tweezers, I think, soon. starting to come off. This is just a thin layer of white gripping compound. Oh man, this stuff is some nasty stuff. Tool magic. Oh, oh my goodness, how did that happen? Did this dry out? I think this dried out. My goodness, this stuff is so nasty. You open this once and you pretty much use it, and then you buy another thing of it. Yeah, it's all goopy. I could probably potentially refresh this, but the compound in here is very it's called toluene. I don't know if it's on the label here. It's like Tolune, toluene, something like that. I've got a bottle of it, but it's nasty stuff. This was clear, and it like completely like melts plastic. Like, I don't know what it does to it, but it completely, I mean, you can see, and it's hazardous. It's completely hazardous. That's why I have it in this case also. But as you can see, it somehow got through. This is a vacuum seal case, tight vac. I really like these little cases, but to try to keep as much air out of this as possible, but the chemical itself is just so nasty. Anyway, I've got some more of it in a mason jar, but you just have to continuously buy it basically once you use it once. It is nasty stuff. Been trying to find the best way to store it, because it just seems to dry out no matter what, unless it's from the factory, sealed. I thought that one was, but that one was had been opened. I had used that previously. It's been sitting in that drawer for, I don't know, 3, 4, 6 months, something like that. Yeah, sorry, that stuff is nasty. I bought a mask specifically to deal with those chemicals. It's a GVS Organic Vapor P100 mask. This is for chemicals like that. So I'll wear that when I'm messing with that stuff. There's a lot of health hazards that are associated with toluene. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, it's not broken back there. The pad stuck on there. Yeah, so this, aside from the broken glass, which I can order a piece of glass for it, should hopefully be functional. Ooh, I don't know where that came from. It's a random screw fell out. What number are these screws? Some of these I don't really remember the numbers for. There we go. These are number 239. These are really tiny. Probably don't have any of these on that case, so it'd be good to have replacements for that. I don't know whether this bracket is going to be usable at all. This center bracket will be. This thing is, I mean, there's not much you can do with this as far as damaging it goes, other than it being super bent. But this looks good. Where the heck did that other screw go? Oh, there we go. What did I say that was? 239. Yep, didn't have any of those in here. And around the case, the bottom two, these two are 140s. I got a couple of those, looks like. And the other ones, okay, those are 140s also. So these two are 140s. This case is completely ruined. Actually, I don't even really like messing around with glass like that. No, that should probably be good still. I don't know where that came from, but give me one moment. I don't like messing around with glass, especially when you got pets around. I don't want it anywhere on this pad if possible. Let's see. 200. This battery's toast, I think. It only charged up 200 mAh. Have to play around with that one. Discharge it again and recharge it maybe. This bracket might be potentially okay. This inner bracket. Oh no, except this bar here on this is broken. I think. This is supposed to sit like right in here. Yeah, no, maybe it's okay. That might be okay. Not sure where this little plastic piece came from. Might have been up here on this. I'm hopeful that the LCD panel is okay, but if it's not, well, maybe not, because this is an outer glass shield that's just over top of the LCD display itself. We'll see what happens here. I really don't know how they exactly manufacture the outer glass panel with the inner LCD panel, because normally you don't see any sort of a difference on the cover because they're like adhered to each other. You can sometimes get replacements of these to put over top of the LCD panel in case you have cracks in that, but the LCD panel is okay. I don't think I would be able to get these apart. Normally what I end up trying to do is using the backlight, the backlights from this back panel. This LCD board is probably good. Maybe, should I keep that on there? I don't know. That should come up with the back panel. The LCD back panel covers, the replacement LCDs for them are starting to get away from the metal back cover. Oh yeah, the inner glass is broken, so that is non-functional. That wasn't going to work anyway. But this backlight is probably still good. Get a little bit of glass. So I'll be keeping this backlight and board. That's likely still functional. This is trash. They don't sell these little pads either, so I'll be keeping that. And this has got glass all in it. I'm really hoping that these fuses are all good too. Might as well test these fuses while I get the board here. One, two, three, four, five. Is there one more? I think there's these two down here, I think. Okay, yeah, well, the fuses are good, so. Hoping that this board is actually good. That would be amazing. Yeah, that'll come out later. There is a little bit of water corrosion in here too. You can see there's a little bit of white. Motherboard screws are Number 11s. Number 11s. This top right one is a number 2. The focus ring ribbon. Focus ring ribbon, man. Once I upload this last A7S video, troubleshooting the focus ring, man, nightmare. Nightmare. But I got the test done, fortunately. Again, I'm really hoping that this main board is good. Ooh, the battery's corroded. Oh. That is corroded. Corroded off the board. Maybe that's why it wasn't turning on. Battery expanded and I wonder if that's something I could fix. Just starting to get into soldering. Corrosion over here is not a big deal, that's just all ground. There is possibly some issue with the board here. Oh, that came up. Okay, good. Yeah, that is not good. I don't want to pry that off the way it is because it could lift a trace. Yeah, let me see if I can. I'm feeling a little ambitious. Wondering where I got this from. It was a Christmas present for my girlfriend. I watched the Northridge Fix channel, which I really enjoy. So it kind of got me into this kind of stuff. I have successfully replaced a few LCD backlight fuses in previous videos. But that's about the extent of it. Like troubleshooting boards is not really something I'm very good at. I'm still learning. but we're gonna see if I can lift this off real easy. Really, I should probably be using that mask, yeah. Everything in this solder flux. I do have a, I got the mask on now. I do have a solder smoke detector, or not detector, what do we call it, suction device. But I don't have plugged in. It's not wanting to melt. I don't know what it is with these boards, but I always seem to have trouble getting the solder to melt on them. I'm not going to mess with that right now. Call that a fail. Unless I jack up the temperature a little bit. I just don't have the skills, man. Don't have the skills. I don't want to rip that pad up. I'll have to put this aside for some other day. if I gotta preheat the board or what, but with my hot tweezers replacing the SMD fuses, I have to have that damn thing at like 800 degrees on the, at least that's what the Weller base station says. Just continue on. Get that happen for now. But that's likely why it wasn't functional, wasn't turning on. So that'll be a separate, maybe short video or something when I actually try to play around with that again. I'm going to be getting a hot air gun set up here soon. I've got, I think, everything I need for it. Well, looks like part of this thing broke off. Maybe it's not salvageable. No, not salvageable. The bracket is busted here, and the pressure point attached to this is broken, so it really doesn't have any sort of, which I might be able to, yeah, I can keep the outer shell of this because it is good. Just when I come across another one that's completely busted more than this one, or maybe the grip is broken or whatever, I might be able to just replace this blue piece, maybe not. I don't know how that pin, oh, okay, so this is multi-piece. So the way a construction is this pin, this is all put in before the grip is put on, so I wouldn't be able to replace those components. And this bracket is broken anyway, so yeah, this is completely non-usable. Unfortunate. This top should come off now. Got a little bit of corrosion in there. This wheel will have to be replaced, obviously, but I'm going to just keep this top all intact the way it is currently. More carnage. It's unfortunate that this broke also, because I could have used another center part with the door. are number 2. No, these are 12s. Yeah, I forgot about that. I always think these are number 2s, but they're going into plastic, I think. This, I believe, is a number 2. A little bit of corrosion on that. If I can get this off to get it onto the back of the EVF. Ooh. That's not peeling very good. This side, there we go. The center piece is kind of still functional, except for the door. So, yeah, might be able to play around with that. I was always kind of wondering how to get this bar out of there to be able to maybe replace those doors. Looks like you can slide that way. So, you never know when you're going to need stuff. Definitely some internal corrosion to this. Be nice to have an extra SD card reader. I assume this is fine. Just looking at the battery compartment, it looks fine. Maybe a little bent, but battery compartments are not super easy to, I guess, come by. So that'll be good to have. Oh wait, I wanted the screw for the front. The wireless. I'm kind of at a decision point in trying to leave this front completely as is, actually, for now, until I need something off of it. The only reason why I say that is because the yeah, it's just kind of an internal struggle. I could just keep the frame piece and the sensor connected to each other so that so I can store it that way. That'll keep the sensor off of the, off of the glass. Maybe I'll do that. In order to do that, I do need to disassemble it the rest of the way, so I might as well do it. I'm going to keep these out. Will give us an opportunity to take a look at the sensor, since we don't know what it looks like at the moment. Corrosion holding it in. Question is going to be is if there's any dust. It looks like there might be a little something down underneath there, so I don't know whether this sensor will be good or not. Corrosion is going to kind of hold the spacers in place for us for the moment, I think. Didn't want the sensor to come out, so Excuse me. Use a good cleaning, apparently. Shutter might be good. So that'll be a bonus. That's good. Just so we don't lose might as well put these back in. Not the screws, but the shims. They'll have to be the same shim. I don't remember if I got to take out the anything on the front for that to come out. We'll see here. It's just the outer ring glue. Well, not glue. The adhesive that was kind of holding it in there. So this front frame is basically non-usable. I can use the bracket pieces, so I'll keep those. I'm actually not sure what screw that is. I don't even think they tell you in the manual. Come on out of there. Clean these up. Man, that front shell is not usable. I'm not sure if I've ever actually even taken this off before. Little friction clip. Yeah. Alright. That's the actual wireless antenna. Alright, well that's a part. I'm not sure about this outer ring. Like, I don't know if you can take that off or not. Maybe you can. It's probably just glued in there. I'm not gonna mess with it. It's garbage. Okay. Let's see if it'll tell me what those bracket pieces were. Yeah, I don't even think they show it. They just show the number 2s. I'll figure it out later. But I did just want to put this back on the frame for storage. That's mainly what I wanted to do. I'll just store this front frame with the sensor. Possibly I might utilize this front frame. I've been wanting to send out some sensors for full spectrum conversion, so it's possible that I might utilize this front frame for that purpose. That way the sensor is secure during transport within this whole frame. So we'll see if that salvageable would be a good candidate for transport. I think it would be. I just gotta clean it up, obviously. But yeah, as a recap, this was just a tear down to try to see what parts I can get out of this thing. It looks like the front focus ring, the sensor is probably good. The memory card reader is probably good. Obviously the frame components internal are probably good. This battery compartment is likely functional. We'll have to test the CBF. I'll just pop it in another unit and see if it functions. Even with the broken glass, it's just, you know, glass. This can be torn apart, but if this works, we'll replace the glass. Battery compartment, eyepiece, obviously the backlight for the LCD panel. The top more than likely is good, except for I'm not sure where my camera cut off there, so I don't know what I lost, if anything. Maybe it got too hot, I'm not sure. Never had it happen before. But anyway, this top piece is probably good, except for this I'll have to replace. The main board, I'm really hoping that once I am at least halfway proficient in soldering, it looks like this pad's okay. It's just I need to lift this side off, clean it all up, and get a new battery compartment and battery. It doesn't appear as if there are any corrosion on any of the other components, and all the fuses were functional, so I'm just betting that that battery compartment is the problem with this particular board and why it wasn't powering up. I'm very hopeful for that, because I could use this board in another camera once I fix it, or hopefully fix it. And then the outer LCD bracket's probably usable. So we do have a considerable amount of parts that are likely functional on here. So I'm just gonna box all these up in my little drawers and use them eventually. But hope you found that interesting. Just a tear down video, and I'll be working on another one soon. All right, thanks.